Okay, so the first technique that I'm going to be showing is the locking the shoulder. I'm going to be showing it without a deep hook. And this is a technique that I've used in competition and I've been successful with. And this is the base for a lot of rubber guard movements, so it's very important. So make sure you pay attention to all the details. So I've got Einstein in my guard. He's posturing up. From here, I'm going to bridge. I'm going to sit up. I'm going to break him down. I'm going to put my right hand on the crown of his head, not the back of his neck, because from here you can move his neck back, move your neck back. Beautiful. Okay, so move your head back. There's a lot more head control. From here, I'm going to put my left hand on the elbow and I'm going to push it across. From here, I'm going to open my legs, lift my hips in the air, and fire, and I'm going to lock this shoulder. Bam. Notice how I fire my hips up in the air and then my butt's off the mat. From here, if you see right here, this shoulder is locked, okay? It's trapped. My left leg is on top of the shoulder and my right leg is on top of my left leg, which means I'm going to be taking the right arm. From here, I'm going to squeeze my knees and I'm going to take the arm, thumb up, 2-on-1, okay? And then another way to finish this would be by putting your left hand on this side of the face, passing the left leg over the face, squeezing your knees, curling your toes, lifting your hips, and always taking the arm, thumb up, because the arm is less flexible that way. I've got the guy in my guard. I sit up, I break the guy down, I put my right hand on the crown, okay? I push the elbow across my body, close to my belly button. From here, I'm gonna fire my legs up and I'm gonna lock the shoulder. Notice that my butt and my hips are off the mat. From here, I'm squeezing my knees together, keeping constant pressure, okay? Now from here, I'm gonna take the arm by just pulling down with both hands and lifting my hips. And then another way to finish is by placing your left hand on the left side of his temple and passing the left leg over, squeezing my knees, curling my toes, lifting my hips, and pulling the arm down, 2-on-1, thumb up. So the guy's broken down in my guard. Once again, my hand is controlling the crown, not the back of the neck. From here, I'm gonna push the elbow across and get it where my belly button is. From here, I'm gonna open my legs, fire up, and lock his shoulder, okay? Notice that his shoulder is trapped right here, okay? If it was right here, the shoulder is not locked, okay? So from here, my left leg is on top of his right shoulder and my right leg is on top of my right leg is on top of my left leg. From here, I'm squeezing my knees, okay? And I'm gonna take the arm 2-on-1. I'm gonna put the left hand on the face, pass the leg over, squeeze my knees, curl my toes, lift my hips, and take the arm. So the next technique that I'm going to be showing is the Chillbar from rubber guard. This is another move that I've used successfully in competition. What I really like about this technique is that when it's done right, you cannot defend it. I've got Einstein in my guard. I'm going to sit up, break him down. I'm going to put my right foot on the hip. My left leg's going to come up. I'm going to go wrist to ankle. I'm going to squeeze my knees together. I'm going to drive my right clavicle, my right elbow into his clavicle. From here, my left hand is gonna zombie his arm to the mat, and I'm gonna hug my knee, going straight to New York. From here, right when I do that, I'm gonna escape my hip out to the right, clear his neck. Right when I clear his neck, I go over his arm and I hook my ankle. From here, I'm gonna throw my right leg on top of the shoulder, let go with my right hand, put the left leg on top, squeeze my knees, take the arm bar by lifting my hips and pulling the arm 2-on-1. From here, I'm gonna place my right hand on the head, pass the leg over the head, squeeze my knees, curl my toes, and take the arm that way. Also notice that the arm is trapped right here. He cannot lock his hands together, so it's checkmate from here. The next technique that I'm going to be showing is the triangle off the chill bar. So I'm going to go for the chill bar. My opponent's going to see that I'm going for the arm bar. He's going to pull his arm out and defend. That's when I'm going to go for the triangle. Einstein's broken down in my guard. I'm going to put my right foot on the hip. My left leg's going to come up. I'm going to go wrist to ankle, squeezing my knees, staying tight. My right elbow is driving into the clavicle. From here, my left hand zombies the hand to the mat, and I hug my knee, going to New York. From here, I slightly shift my hips out, and I clear the neck, rehook the ankle, and I go over his wrist. From here, my right leg goes to lock his shoulder. He pulls his arm out to where I shift my hips and I lock the triangle up. From here, I'm gonna constantly control this posture, and I'm gonna move the arm across. And once I get the arm across, I'm gonna pull the head using a gable grip, no thumbs. Pull the head down, squeeze my knees, and lift my hips. Now, what's really important when you have the guy in the triangle, when you pull and squeeze, is that you go from human mode into anaconda mode. What I mean by that is that once you lock in the squeeze, you're committed to it, okay? If you can go from 0 to 100 and maintain the squeeze for about 20 seconds, that's great. But if you go from 0 to 100 and you can't maintain the squeeze, you're gonna burn your legs out. So it's very important that whatever speed you go to, you're able to maintain and get higher and higher with the speed. Like go from 50 to 60 to 70, then the guy taps. So the next technique that I'm going to be showing is my variation on how I like to do the rear naked choke. The way that I do it is very different than the conventional way. A lot of people they start off with an over-under, they come here, they bring their arm like this to where right here, if the guy pulls down on your arm can get broken. And then another thing is that I've seen guys come here and just squeeze or just put the hand here and squeeze, but the arm slides off. If the arm is right here, it's gonna be very easy for the guy to slide the arm off. So what I like to do is, first of all, I have the over-under. My right hand's over the shoulder, which is threatening the throat, and my arm that's under is controlling the body. From here, I lock a gable grip. My right hand faces down, my left palm faces up. From here, Einstein's gonna defend using 2-on-1. What I'm gonna do from here is kill his wrist and go to the throat. I'm gonna go super quickly, as quick as I can. Bam, right away, and I reach for the shoulder. What I'm gonna do from here is pull my left arm out, lock my hands together using a gable grip. My left palm is now looking at me. I'm gonna put the right side of my temple right next to his ear, and I'm gonna squeeze. Bam, and he taps. Now, let's say the guy's super strong and I'm having a really hard time finishing him with the severn. My right palm's gonna look at me, my left palm's gonna cut across and just slide behind the base of his skull, and my pinky is right behind his head. From here, I'm gonna put the right side of my temple right next to the left side of his, and I'm just gonna squeeze. Okay? One more time. I have my opponent's back. From here, he defends using 2-on-1. I kill the wrist and I go for the shoulder right away. That's the landmark that I'm looking for. I'm gonna pull my left arm out and I'm gonna gable grip and I'm gonna squeeze right here. Okay? Great, if he taps out. However, let's say he doesn't tap out because he came back using 2-on-1. My right hand's gonna look at me, my left hand's gonna cut across. I'm gonna put the right side of my temple right next to his. My pinky's at the base of the skull and I squeeze. Okay? Another detail that helps the technique get tighter is I'm gonna put my chest into his back and breathe in. It gets him to tap a lot quicker. One more thing that's also really important is going from human mode into anaconda mode. Keeping the choke really tight. It's always consistent. I'm never going from 100% back down to 50. It's a consistent squeeze. If I go to 50%, I'm only going up and I'm holding it, okay? The next technique that I'm going to be showing flows with the next one. I'm going to be killing the wrist and trapping the arm. So I've got Einstein's back with the over-under. From here, he defends using 2-on-1. I'm going to kill the wrist and go straight for the shoulder. Now, my left leg is going to go over his arm, and his right arm is going to battle my two arms, which is going to give me a higher % chance of finishing. From here, I can finish with the severn by just putting my temple right next to his and just squeezing. Or if I just want to get more power, my right hand looks at me, my left hand cuts across, I put my temple right next to his, I put my chest right next to his back, and I just breathe in and he taps. One more time. Got Einstein's back with the over-under. From here, he defends using 2-on-1. I'm gonna kill the wrist, reach for the throat, and hide the arm all at once in one motion. Bam. All right. From here, I'm gonna pull my left arm out, lock a gable grip, and squeeze. He taps. Then the next technique that if I want to generate more leverage, my right hand looks at me, my left arm cuts across, goes behind the base of his skull. I put my temple right next to his, and I squeeze. So the next technique that I'm going to be showing is the pimp angle from the back. This is a technique that I use to counter my opponent when he tries to shake me off his back by tripoding. So I've got Einstein's back right now. He's facing down. I have an over-under. From here, he tries to counter to escape the back by tripoding. What I'm going to do is post my right hand on the mat. My left arm's going to come over his left shoulder. I'm going to grab my right shin with my left hand. I'm going to shoot the leg through, and I'm going to lock the triangle right here. From here, this is a very tight angle. What I'm going to do is finish him using a choke and an arm bar. I'm going to collect the arm into my armpit by keeping it tight. From here, I'm going to squeeze my knees, lift my hips, and extend. And he taps out from the choke and the arm bar. So I'm going to be showing the pimp angle, which is I have my opponent's back, or Einstein's back. He's not my opponent, it's my buddy. I have the over-under. From here, he tries to tripod and shake me off when I have his back. So what I'm going to do is post super quickly on my right hand. I'm going to grab the shin with my left hand, shoot the leg through, lock up a triangle, and from here, I'm going to trap the arm in my armpit by staying tight. I'm going to squeeze my knees, lift my hips, and I'm going to finish him with a choke and an armbar. And that's the pimp angle.
You a pimp.
So I've got Einstein's back with the over-under. He's going to try and escape by tripoding and trying to shake me off. I'm going to post my right hand on the mat, grab my shin with my left hand, shoot the leg through. Okay, now I'm going to lock my left arm, my left leg on top of my right leg, and I'm going to trap his arm into my armpit. I'm going to squeeze my knees, lift my hips, armbar him, and choke him at the same time. And that's the pimp angle.